Hello friends, welcome to my channel. It's Sean from Seank Beauty, and this is Seank's Beauty Bar, where we grab from the bar and discuss all things beauty. Hi, hello. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe. Do click on the notification bell, all the notifications, guys, so that you're notified every time I put up a video. If you're new, my background is microbiology and chemistry. I'm now in the beauty space. We do makeup tutorials, everything that is beauty related that's going to help you become your best self. So if this seems like a community you want to be a part of, then definitely subscribe. We love you here, and we keep this community very clean so that we have really great, informative, and healthy conversations. All right, so this question is coming from the beautiful Phoenicia. Hey girl. Phoenicia has been one of my subscribers for a while. She has a beautiful little boy. Please kiss your little guy for me. I was so obliged to do this video, and her question is, can you give some do's and don'ts when you're in your 30s and higher with putting on makeup? So I'm really happy to do this video. So let's get right into this question, guys. All right, exfoliating of our lips with the Jouer lip mask. Again, I am not sponsored by this brand, but you all know I'm a huge proponent of Christina's line because it is quality product. I bought this duo when they were on sale for about 15 bucks. This is rich with hyaluronic acid. Again, paying attention to the environment, whether it's humid, whether it's dry, hyaluronic acid is going to be your friend. This is very nourishing. It has sugar in it as well. And the sugar grains are not big like your brown sugar molecules are. So this is really nice on the lips. I do this after every time I wear any sort of lipstick, whether it's a red, mattifying, or satin lipstick. The next thing I do is I follow up while I'm putting on my makeup with a nourishing lip balm. This is also from Jouer. This has shea butter in it, jojoba seed oil, and maxi lip. All of them working together brings hydration, also moisturizes, plumps up the lips, and just gets rid of any flakiness, any dryness that would happen from being in an environment that's really cold, or a dry environment, or even when you're using drying lipstick. So a famous quote by one woman that I really highly respect is Trish McEvoy, and that is, we can bring back in makeup what time takes away. And I truly believe that, but you have to know what you're doing. Next step is going into brows. The one thing we want to pay attention to is the color of our hair, right? So if you have dark hair, it's okay if you have like a dark brown brow, or even if you have a black brow. Now for me, I use a black color to draw on my brows and eyeshadow, but what I end up doing is I lighten it up with the Dior Brow Show in 002. Okay, so my next step is, I know I look crazy right now, guys. I cleaned up my brows and I'm just blending in. Most people would use color correctors to lighten up certain areas. And of course, my steps in how I do my makeup can change, but it all comes together nicely and looks the same, right? Unless I'm doing a Scott Barnes technique, then it just looks totally different. And this is pretty much a Scott Barnes technique. It's like concealing first, foundation second. So I'm following the Scott Barnes Tati technique right now. So the next step is to color correct, but just using as little of product as possible. Blending nicely, but using a thin layer, right? So that's the next step, Phoenicia. We want to make sure that we're not using a lot of product. And that's something that Trish McEvoy talks about as well. We don't want to wear makeup that we look like an entirely different person. We want to wear makeup where we still look like ourselves, but our skin is enhanced because of the products that we're using, right? So you look like your skin, but better with makeup, but you don't want to look like a different person. When you do the Scott Barnes technique like this, you use less and less product. And the great thing about when you do this technique, it almost looks like, it almost kind of sets the tone of where you're going to place everything else, you know? Scott Barnes is one of those makeup artists that I really love as well. I'm using the Clinique Even Better Refresh Foundation, taking a little bit of this product in a tapping motion. To brighten and even out the skin. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, and this seems counterproductive too, but I'm going to, because Scott Barnes actually conceals, contours, and then puts on foundation, but I ended up concealing, putting on foundation, and now I'm going to contour. If you're in your 30s and up, you can contour. I would just say don't go ham with contouring. Just remember that contour brings in or recedes areas that you don't want people to focus their eyes on. So like right here under my jawline, just a little bit. This is the espresso stick from Fenty, another brand that I love. And Scott Barnes will tell you, you want to go right underneath your jawbone, right? So this is my cheeks. This is my jawbone. So that's a really great rule of thumb. Make sure that your contour is going under the jawbone. And I'm just going to take this right alongside here and down my neck. And I'm doing this, guys, because I've eaten a ton of food here in Cleveland. We love to do a video with fitness because I have been eating a ton. But again, contour just helps to recede everything backwards. You notice that he would contour Jennifer Lopez, and Jennifer Lopez is how old? Like, I don't even know how old she is, so I won't even do the disservice of throwing a number out there. But, you know, contour can be for everybody. You just don't go, the key is not to go overboard with your makeup. So we're just gonna go ahead and blend this into the cheeks. Okay, beautiful friends. This video would not be complete unless I have jazz music going on in the background. I also say get yourself some beautiful jazz music while you are putting on your makeup, because that is the key to a flawless finish as well. I'm sorry. That was really cheesy. But I absolutely love jazz. Collagen, another really great additive to your skincare routine too. I showed you guys the collagen that I use from Vital Proteins. That works just as lovely. So I'm just gonna bring you in a little bit closer so you guys can see. And it does bring a lifting effect to the eye. Just dapping that on everywhere. Turning your head when you're putting on concealer so that you could see exactly where it's going and what you're doing. You don't want to come down too far, right? Because we just put contour on. So we still want to have those areas not concealed. Now, you all know that I don't go straight into putting on my face powder. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go into the Fenty Banana Powder. And I'm not going to use a lot of this. This is a setting powder. And I know some people will say ditch the powder. My thing is, you don't have to ditch the powder. But, you know, Sara also mentions if you're going to do the whole baking bit, especially under the eye area, you want to do that with at least eye patches on so that you can still have that youthful look to the skin, that plumpness to the skin, that radiance to the skin. I do not bake. I'm just not desiring to dry out my skin because the sebaceous glands will produce more oil when you're baking. So throughout the day, you'll start to see your skin getting very oily. And then again, your skin looks textured. So I don't do the baking bit. If you all could see what I see right now, it is snowing so aggressively outside here in Cleveland. I cannot wait to go back to Texas. Okay, so we are going to pat this on right under the eye. And that's just because what I have learned with using a setting powder under my eye, and it's not just the Fenty. I did that with the Sacha Buttercup and also with CoverGirl. It just cracks. It really does crack. I just want to say makeup is to be enjoyed, okay? So I don't want you all to stress out when it comes to makeup. especially when you're in your 30s. Just realize that the key is skincare, and it really is about using less product, still getting the finish, but using less product. You don't have to go Instagram ham to get a seamless, beautiful glam look to the skin. Using a very clean brush, and I'm tapping off the excess and just going right underneath the eye here. And you can mix this with a little bit of banana. I've done that before and it was okay, but I find I have to go back into my MAC Skin finish. All right, so my next tip is to go into your face powder and not using a lot of it. And we're just going to dust that on very lightly. We don't need a lot of product onto our skin. Okay, so imitating a brisk walk. Trish McAvoy says with this next technique is literally to bronze the skin and on the high points, as well as bringing in a wash of beautiful blush. I'm going into Mocha Mami with this same fluffy brush. And Trish also says use a fluffy brush. And I'm just starting with the high points, right? So right around my forehead is a high point. And I am taking this down the sides of the face. And just bringing that under where the contour is, down the sides of the face. And I'm just dusting towards my hairline with this bronzer. Really love this. So I'm just gonna take this right down the sides of my nose. High points of the nose. And this acts as a really mild contour. This is the NARS Dolce Vita blush. I got a sample of this from Sephora. Can't wait to use it, but it does remind me of mixing Pinker and Supreme from the Jackie Aina palette. However, cream blush actually does give you this radiant, more youthful look from within. But if you know what you're doing with powder, that'll work as well. Just go with a light hand. You guys know I go with a very light hand with a lot of my products. But I'm going to try this for the first time, and I pray that it works out beautifully. But what better way to experiment than with my friends, right? So we're gonna try this. I know that Jackie would say use your fingers. You know what? I will use my fingers first. That might be a good idea. Just adding a little bit here. Oh, this is beautiful. So I'm just gonna add a little bit because I rather start with a little bit than a lot. And I'm just going to take a fluffy brush, the same fluffy brush that I used. And I am going to take this towards my cheeks, my ear. Taking this towards my ear. Actually, very pretty. Oh. Jackie recommended this cheek color and it is gorgeous. Okay, you all, that is stunning. Wow. Okay. First time using a cream. This is my first time using a cream blush. Oh my gosh. François Naz. Très bien. Il est belle. Wow. You all, look at that. I've become a firm believer of cream blush. And my next tip to you too, Phoenicia, is do your makeup in front of a mirror where you can get natural light if you can, because natural light is like the best light when putting on your makeup. I would say refrain from using any kind of shimmer or sparklies under the brow bone, but you know, if you're going to do that, just use a very bare minimum or use a concealer that really does give you more of a natural finish. So we're gonna work on our eyes using a little bit of shimmer on the lids. I'm going to show you that after I put on my transition shade. So I'm going to go into the beautiful Jackie Aina palette. I'm also going to use my Bronze Goddess palette to give me that shimmer shade, which is this rose goldy shade right here. Well, you know what? I'm going to try this rose gold shade right here. I'm going to go in with the shade Ginger first. And of course, you don't have to use a lot of color, but this is more skin-like. So I'm just, and this is very pigmented. I'm tapping this in first so that I can get more payoff. You can use a primer on your eyes as well, guys. I'm not going to use a primer because a lot of my products that I've used on my skin are very hydrating. And you all saw that I didn't set my lids. Sometimes I do set my lids with a powder before I use anything else, but I'm just going to go ahead and press this in. I'm going to go into Supreme, which is this lighter pink color, and I'm just tapping off the excess, and I'm using a little bit of that right on top of Ginger. Looking in the mirror. Okay, so the next thing we're going to go in with is a little bit of shimmer. This shimmer shade is very, very pretty. It's this shade here. Don't go after sparkly, but go after shimmer. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to spray this with a little bit of Fix Plus. You know, a nice shimmer to the eyes, which Estee Lauder always gives us quality. Is not, ooh. You guys, this is the first time I'm using this. This is gorgeous. Wow. You guys see that? Can somebody give me a thumbs up just for this shade right here? Okay, thank you. Ooh. Wow. Wow. I'm so amazed by this color, you all. I'm going to intensify this look just a little bit with the Jackie Aina Credit color. And I'm just going to take that right onto this outer V right out here, just a little bit. So starting here and just tapping on that outer V. Going to go in with the shade Mirage as my inner corner highlight, going in with the same brush that I used earlier from putting on the lid shade. And I'm just going to take a little bit of that and just tap a little bit right here in the inner corner, just a smidget. Going to do the same thing so you guys can see what I'm doing. Coming in close. It's kind of hard not really having the ideal setup in a hotel room, but I'm going to make it work. Now that we've done that, we're going to go in with right here on the bottom lash line. A lot of the times, Phoenicia, what I love to do is, and of course you can still use eyeliner. I would not go so harsh on your eyeliner though. I think that eyeshadows give you a better, lighter, more feminine finish under the eye than using a harsh liner, but to each his own, okay? So don't give me a thumbs down because I say don't use eyeliner. What I'm saying is, you know, the eyeshadow does give you more of a lighter application than using a harsh liner, but you can still use eyeliner. Sometimes you have to put these disclaimers out here because people get sensitive when it comes to makeup, and I don't really know why. So what I'm going to go into is the Jackie Aina palette, and I'm going to go into the shade Credit, and that's going to be what I use into my waterline. Brown just gives, it's beautiful. It gives a softer finish than the black. Sometimes I would press black in with a black shadow in between my lashes and my lid like this. But for a nice brown shade, I'm just swooping that right into the waterline. I'm going to go into the Sumptuous Mascara, one that I absolutely love from Estee Lauder, and I'm just going to prep my lashes for falsies. I coat the hairs on my bottom lash line because that looks really, really nice. Now we want to go into a light color lipstick. You can line your lips with a really nice brown, or you can just go in with something like this. This is a really good quality lipstick. It is the Blase Bluff from Estee Lauder. It's a really comfortable matte. I'm using a little bit of Sweet Mouth by Fenty on my lip, just to plump up the lips a little bit more. Even though this is not a plumper, it does give that illusion. And we're gonna throw on some lashes. Now, lashes, I wouldn't go after a heavy lash Phoenicia, especially if you do wanna wear lashes. I think keeping it very, very light. Wispies are really great to wear on the eyes as well. Sometimes a really heavy overdone lash can really take a look down as opposed to elevate it. And I wanted to do a check-in to show you all what my makeup looks like now. It is 11:24 at night. When I shot this video, it was earlier this morning at 11:30. I went to work. It was extreme conditions outside to get to work. It was snowing, windy, and yeah, not the most ideal conditions. Now I am back to my room. I went and had dinner with friends and then came back, and now I'm checking in. So you all see the makeup held up really, really well. The Dolce Vita I can still see on my cheekbones, so that didn't move. So I'm really surprised about that cream cheek color, the blush, because you all know that was the first time me trying that out. But the makeup stayed in place and it is absolutely beautiful. So it's important to know your environment. What is the humidity looking like to curate your products? Skincare and skin prep is vitally important to the process. Also going in with a light hand with putting on the makeup, making sure that it's even, and you want to brighten everywhere. You also want to get the brows going and make sure that your brows are really coordinated with the hair color, right? So I have light hair, so I'm going to use a not so dark brow. I had to change the lip color to put on red, but of course the red was still very beautiful. But a light or nude color on the lips always looks nice. A red always looks nice on everybody. It's very flattering. Cream blush, I'm really surprised by the cream blush. Also gives you a nice youthful look to the skin, helps the skin not to look so textured. A nice highlighter that goes on seamlessly, that looks like that natural glow from within. Either a liquid highlight or like I use the Mirage from Estee Lauder, that is not overpowering the face, not using a lot of powder. That's going to add texture to the skin, make the skin look cakey and aged. And when you're going under the eye, just a whisk, do not bake. However, Sara from Dior said if you're going to bake, put on eye patches while you're baking. So hopefully, Phoenicia, this was a lot of really great tips for you. You can go in with a black shadow in the waterline, but I would press in between the hairs, right, with a nice shadow, or you can still use an eyeliner. And going more so either with no eyeliner, right, or a lighter eyeliner like a brown or a nude or a white. Actually opens up the eyes. It looks really beautiful as well and not overpowering the eye. But the key with everything is enjoying the process, really not going ham with using so much makeup at a time. You know, it's easier to add a little and then build up than to add a lot and having to wash your entire face and start all over again. So again, hopefully, Phoenicia, you found this to be helpful. Guys, let's not neglect our lips either. Make sure that you exfoliate and use a really great lip mask. You saw me use the one from Jouer Cosmetics. But I love you all so much. I'll see you in my next one. Definitely subscribe if you're new. And join me on Wednesday when we start talking about retinol again, because that I'm getting a lot of questions on, and a lot of women who have been really concerned because they have seen the adverse reactions from using retinol.